welcome to this edition of the Fat Archer. And here in this video we're just in the series of us moving here to northern Saskatchewan. What we're seeing here is the test hole being drilled for the well. The guy is just a local guy from the area here, and he's got a well drilling unit, and this is they were drilling a well here. They did the test hole. I think the test hole went down to about, by the time they were done, 40 some feet. And we hit water, like there was mud and silt and stuff like that with the test hole, so we kind of had an idea. When we were drilling, it seemed like we started to hit water about 10-15 feet. Here you can see all the mud and stuff coming out, so that was a good indication that we had water. We had witched. There was 4 people that witched, including myself. So this is the next day. We're out here. Actually, me and my brother are giving him a hand. One guy was sick, so this is the auger that he uses to drill, and it's a 30-inch auger that goes down and drills into the ground, and then he brings it up and dumps the sand off. There was sand for the first little while. We had to use shovels later because it was clay and mud and stuff like that, so there's a little bit of work involved with that, but otherwise it wasn't too bad. Basically all we had to guide and make sure that it was pretty well up and straight up and down, so the hole ran pretty straight, and so he would turn until he couldn't turn no more, and then he'd bring it up, shake off the mud. Here we were putting in the casing. This is the first chunk. It's a 25-foot chunk, and we dropped it in, and then we dropped another 8-foot chunk on top of it and hooked that all up. We had to put the casing in. We went about 38 feet, I think is where we got to, and then started to cave in. So the ground started to cave in and the well started to cave in, so we had to drop the casing in fairly quickly. We didn't get to the 50 feet that we wanted, but that was okay because our water came up. It runs about 950 gallons. It's about 50 gallons per foot, and I think I got about 19 feet of water, or 18 feet of water, so way more than what we're going to use. We've been having the well now for since May, and it's stayed at the same level no matter how much we use. So this next part here is where we're putting in the septic tank, and they're also digging from the well to the house. They're digging 8 feet down. We put a pitless adapter, they call it, inside the well, and they hooked up to that, and then they run the water line under here to underneath the modular home, and then we hooked it up there. So guy's really good with this hoe here. He just dug around everything, and it was pretty amazing watching him work. He'd been doing this, I think, for 30 years or so, he told me. So he's in there digging out sand, and they run everything in. They dug right up to like I said, they dug right up to the modular home. It went about 8 feet deep before they put the pitless adapter in there, so that's quite a ways below the frost level, and so it should be fine. We're still going to run a heat tape where it comes out underneath the modular home up into the expansion tank, which we put inside the modular home, just because it's easier to keep it warm and stuff like that, and for it to work, keep it out of the elements. So we just put it actually in one corner of our closet in our master bedroom, which is, it was pretty easy to do and set up, and they hooked it all up underneath, and we got it wrapped with heat tape and different things like that. So that went fairly smooth, and we have had no issues for it now. We've been, like, at the time of recording this, I think we've been here October now, so roughly 5 months, and we've had no issues. We haven't ran out of water. The water seems good. We don't drink it, of course, yet. We're going to get it tested and stuff like that, but we haven't run out of water. We use a lot each day. And then once we got the well dug, we then put in a 850 gallon septic tank. Here they dug the hole close to the house. It's not very far from the house. I think we're probably running 8 feet underneath the ground to the house there, and we got all the sewer pipe is wrapped with heat tape and insulation. Again, done very well. Here you can see them lifting the tank off the trailer. My one little shed there is in the way, but they lifted it up here, and again, the guy who operates the hoe here, and he's also the owner of the company that put it in, did a great job. We put in the septic tank with a pump out that's about 200 feet away. I didn't get any footage of the pump out, but it's about 200 feet away, and it pumps into the bush there, because again, we are on 160 acres and no neighbors and stuff like that. We were able to have this pump out system. Basically, it just pumps out the liquid once the float hits a certain height, like the water hits a certain height and brings the float up so high, it kicks on the pump, and then the pump runs it up and shoots it out onto into the bush out in the back. Again, they run the pipe about 8 feet deep in the ground for the pump out, all the 200 feet, and then come straight up, and then it'll be there, so it's below the frost line, and different things like that. So it's a great system for us. Again, there's only 3 of us here. We don't use very much water during the day, and so the 850 gallon is lots of water for us. So when they got off the trailer, they walked it over here and they lined it up, and when they put it in the ground, it's, like I said, right off the home, so it's not very far that the sewer line has to run, which is great, because it's not much maintenance. If we have to run a snake down there later on in years when we're doing it stuff, we can. It's easy access to it, so it's pretty good. They also added a ring on it, and with that ring, it comes up above the ground, so where they can. So with the pump out system, I think it's a 2-stage. So we're looking at most likely not having to pump out the solids, for about 5 years. We might do it sooner than that. Depends too if you put there's chemicals that you can put in it, natural enzymes and bacteria eating that you can put in it that helps break that down. So it could even be longer. It just depends on how you look after it. So but it works great. Pumps out when the water level gets high, and we've had no issues with it, and it's got good everything. The toilets flush great, water drains great, and things like that. So it's pretty cool how it all works. And it just, it was just 3 guys just put it in, and it was pretty straightforward. So they had when they also did all the wiring and everything like that first. So when my cousin came to hook up all that for me, it was already wired and stuff. He just had to hook up the boxes and stuff like that. Then he filled it all in, and they tamped it all down. They used different machines and stuff like that and put it all in. It's it's great. They did a wonderful job, and they cleaned up so well after they were done, smoothed everything out, all that. I'm going to do a little video here in a little while to show just kind of what the place looks like. Probably this weekend I'm going to do what the place looks like now, since we've had all this in for about 4 or 5 months and stuff like that. So here's the ring they put on the top, and they're just going to put it in there. So next here is the power guys. These guys came in. We had to come across the road. Now we didn't do any footage of them because we didn't want to get in their way or be around too close to them while they were doing all this. They had lots of heavy equipment, lots of guys moving around and stuff like that. Again, they come in late morning, and they were out of there in that night. Here they're just getting to put in the cable. Right about where they're starting is where the pedestal's going to be, and they went down the road there that I did and stayed on the one side of the road, and then they had to go out along the ditch on the main grid road, which was a ways away, and then they had to cross underneath the road. They had to push the line through to one of the poles over there, and then they had to they put a new pole in to reinforce it because they had to do some other stuff over there. So you can see here the backhoe is holding onto the cable while they get started here. They keep the tension on it from it pulling through so they can have it unroll. And basically that sort of blade cable layer extension off the back of the cat there, they just went on their way towards the road and just buried it all underneath there. I forget how deep it is. I think it's around 2.5 feet deep, and stuff like that. So again, come in very professional, knew what they were doing, got it all done. We put in its pedestal setup that has the meter on it right there. It's just regular power, I guess. It's not 3-phase or anything. I think it's 100 amp is what they call it. I'm not 100% sure. And the meter's right on it, and you can actually hook 4 different services to it. So I've got one now for the house. So if I want to build a shop later, I can run one from there to the shop, and then it all goes through the 1 meter. So if I want to run an extra, have an extra building with a couple extra buildings with power in it, I can run it off there and it would be fine. So you can see here that they're really starting to dig into the ground there and start to move forward. It can be tough digging, especially when they're going through the roots and stuff there around all those trees, but they got it through. It was pretty cool. And again, it didn't take them very long. They cleaned up after they're done, leveled everything off. The road is, you can tell where they went through. We've actually, I don't have any footage of it, but SaskTel was here about a week or 2 weeks ago, and they come on the other side of the road with theirs, because we were putting in a landline just in case we need it for emergency purposes. We do have Starlink internet here, and we can Wi-Fi call out, but I just wanted to make sure we had another backup line because of the different in case we need emergency. Of course, with Madison, she does have a heart condition and a few other things that we need to worry about, and so does my wife. So we just wanted to have a backup line. So SaskTel come and went on the opposite side of the road. So here the guys are wiring up the pedestal that they put in, and basically what happens, they wire it all in, set it all up, and then a couple days later, one of the Sask Power guys comes out and he puts the meter in, and once the meter is in, then you can turn on the power. But before they come with the meter, my cousin actually came out and did some ran the main cable from here to the house. I'll leave you with a little tour here of the area and what we got accomplished. Well, there's the power pedestal. Another piece done. Now it's about hooking it up. See what we can do with that. So on to the next part. They'll come, and on the weekend, Carrie, my cousin, is coming, and he's going to wire from here on the panel to down here and into the house. Which should work. So there we got sewer, we got water over there. Probably can't see the well from here, but we got water over there, and we got power over here. So, cool. All within a matter of days.